All right, guys, this is going to be an honest review of the 2015 LG Nexus 5X. This is the light blue version of this phone, I guess you would call it. I don't know what it's not white, it's not black, they have another one, light blue. Anyway, gonna jump right into this honest review here. Just a point of note, this is not a review of Android M, is that what we're on now? 6 Marshmallow. This is more a review of the hardware and just the overall user experience of this phone. Let me start off by saying if you've held or used an LG Nexus 5 before, you will find this phone incredibly similar. The plastic construction on the back, almost identical. The only thing that's different is the camera bump is now in the center as opposed to being over off to this top corner. And you have a fingerprint sensor right there. It's also made by LG. So you'll come to notice a lot of similarities here in these phones. Finally, someone, just like LG did before, is making a small Android phone. And by small, I mean 5 inches. You can hold this phone in one hand. You can use this phone in one hand. You can do everything in this phone in one hand. And I've been screaming forever for a small phone. And, you know, honestly, the only phones that really fit my hand at this point in time are the Sony Xperia Z Compact, that series, the iPhone regular, I guess, not the Plus, and the Nexus 5. And I've been waiting for 2 years for an upgrade for the Nexus 5, and this is finally it. And I love literally everything about this phone. This is absolutely the closest thing to a perfect phone for me yet. Now, I say that with a little bit of hesitation because there's the Nexus 6P, which is coming out here. I think I'll get it tomorrow, and I'm going to review that one too. But for now, this 5-inch LG Nexus 5X is fantastic. Let's go over a little bit of the things you have here. The first of which is the fingerprint sensor. I want to talk about that. Extremely fast, extremely reliable, extremely convenient. You know, the phone's in your pocket, you're going to pick it up. This combines not only the resting position, right, that you would normally find, like one of my favorite things about the Moto X series and the Moto G is that little Motorola logo that you can kind of rest your finger on. Not only does this have that, but it one-ups it by putting a fingerprint scanner in here. And it's incredibly fast. By the time I put my finger on here and turn the phone around, you'll see it's locked, right? The phone's going to be unlocked. Boom. It's that quick and it's that reliable. It's probably, I don't even know if it's faster than the Touch ID on the iPhone. The new Touch ID on the 6S and 6S Plus is fast. And this is as fast. I mean, this is like Android with no lag fast. But it's great. I mean, everything about that is just phenomenal. You know, no more passcodes. I mean, obviously there's a backup passcode, but it can pretty much do away with passcodes just by using your fingerprint there. Dual LED flash, which is great. 12 megapixel camera, which is great. IR focusing, or not IR, but laser focusing, whatever, I don't know. But anyway, this thing works pretty well. Fantastic addition here, USB-C. What that means for everyday people is the phone, just like the iPhone, the plug is interchangeable. You can rotate it either direction. No more fumbling around in the dark. No more breaking that little thing inside. Either way works great. You will have to get new cables. That's what that does mean as well. So your old USB cables are not going to work, which is a bummer, but whatever. It's worth it for the addition of USB-C here. Again, plastic shell, feels cheap compared to some of the other, you know, aluminum phones and other solidly built plastic phones or glass phones like the Galaxy S6. But it doesn't feel poor quality. It does feel, you know, the materials are cheaper, but it doesn't feel like a cheap phone. It feels like a Nexus 5. Fantastic though, I think. You know, literally very, very close to perfect. Nano SIM right there, which is different from the Nexus 5. So that's cool. They've gone to the smaller version. Power and volume on the same side. Not too keen on that, especially the volume. It's really low down here on the side of the phone. So it kind of, I don't know, it's sort of in the way a little bit. I kind of like the alternating buttons on the sides. Let's see, microphone, headphone jack. So, you know, all in all, it's the same thing you've seen on other cell phones out there. Screen 5 inches, fantastic color, clarity, quality, just like you'd expect from a Nexus device. or an LG Nexus device. You know, really, really good color accuracy, really good color representation. Viewing angles are okay. I think the iPhone probably has a little bit better viewing angles in terms of the color, but you know, you're not going to look at this phone and be disappointed. You know what I mean? You're going to really like the color on this bad boy, and just the overall screen quality. Speed of the hardware in terms of the user experience is great. I have noticed a little bit of lag, which is frustrating. You know, I know they use kind of an older chipset in here, or maybe not older, but you know, not top end. But whatever. You know, the Nexus 5 still runs strong on the current software. I would imagine this will do the same. I'm not going to say that I'm you know, going to absolutely not buy this phone because of the hint of lag. Lag does frustrate me, but I also think that Google will write software updates to fix it too, because they're heavily invested in their Nexus line of devices. Otherwise, you know, the software is the only other thing to talk about, which is great because there's no stupid carrier bloatware on this phone, right? It's not polluted by garbage TouchWiz or garbage Sense or any of the other crap that's out there. The Sony overlays, all the freaking manufacturers put their own stupid software, which not only delays updates, but also has a bunch of crap that you don't need. Like, this phone is great. The purity of Nexus is unrivaled, you know. Also has hands-free, you know, Google Now. You go through the whole setup of, okay, Google, and the phone recognizes your voice, see. And you can also set it up so that it's on the lock screen, and or, you know, when the phone's or, you know, locked, it'll recognize your voice as well. So, you know, software is great. It's unpolluted. It's stock. It's the pure Nexus experience. 16 gig or 32 gig. 16 gig right here is $379, which again is awesome. Can't beat that price when you compare it to like a similar size phone, like, you know, an iPhone 6 is going to cost you at least $650. You're talking close to half the price. I mean, not exactly half, but darn close. And camera quality in this bad boy, outstanding. I actually really liked the camera in the Nexus 5. I think the hype surrounding that the camera wasn't very good was actually not true. I think that the focusing speed on this thing is fast. I think the quality is good. I think that the indoor sort of available light shots is, you know, the resolution is great. I mean, the sharpness is good. I don't notice any like huge issues. I mean, obviously it's not going to be as good as an SLR or something, but the quality is good and the focusing is fast, and the app, you know, the app is quick, and it's those three things make it usable and great for me. I'm really impressed. So I'm just going to close here. I don't want to take up all your time with my ramblings. Just, you know, it's gonna be a tough one to decide between this and the Nexus 6P. So stay tuned to see my sort of comparison between the two. But if you are a fan of the Nexus 5, get this phone. You won't be disappointed. You'll actually be really blown away, I think, and you'll have a new favorite. This is absolutely, positively my favorite my most favorite Android phone to date, and that's saying a lot for me, who is sort of a picky individual. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to check out everything else on YouTube and rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks.